Welcome to e-volution, the channel about electric cars from a different perspective. My name is Andre Lawrence, and 2 years ago I made a video about the Kia EV6 hidden features, and I said I'd make a follow-up video, a part 2. Well, it's been 2 years, and this is that video. If you want to find out the top 10 EV6 hidden features part 2, stick around, I'll show you in a few seconds. Now I just want to preface this video with people who leave negative comments about these aren't hidden features, they're all in the manual. Well, you know what? Yeah, some of them are in the manual, but some of them aren't. And I guarantee that one of them isn't. Now, with that being said, if you still want to leave a negative comment, feel free, be my guest, because the YouTube algorithm loves comments on videos. And thanks for watching. One of the things that's really nice about the key fob with the EV6 is that you have this unlock button here that if you press and hold it, the windows of your car will go down after about 2 or 3 seconds. That's really convenient on a hot day. One of the things that's kind of stupid though, this lock button, you would think, if you pressed and held it, that they would go back up, but nope, you have to go back into the car and do it yourself. One of the most frequent questions that I had in my first Kia EV6 hidden features video was, what exactly is this second button right at the bottom of the charge port? Now the top button is quite obvious. It's got the picture of a charge port door with a little arrow closing, so if you press it, it will close the charge port door. This bottom button actually has to do with the scheduled charging. Scheduled charging is when you program your vehicle to only charge from a certain time to a certain time during the day. But what happens if you're at the movie theater or somewhere else and you want to take an advantage of charging your car while you're at that location? Well, if you plug in your car, the car will tell you charging scheduled.
Charging scheduled.
If you wanted to override that, you'd press and hold this button for about 3 seconds. The car will make a little clicking sound, and then you'll hear charging started.
Charging started.
One of the things that I haven't seen in any other video is the fact that these headrests are adjustable. Now, I don't mean adjustable in the up and down position like every other car on the planet, but they're actually adjustable forward and backward. Now, there are 4 settings. This is the backmost setting. If you go forward 1 click, that's 1, 2, 3, and then to set it back, pull it forward all the way, and it goes all the way back, and you're done. As mentioned in my last video, big things are coming to evolution. This channel is evolving. Now, one of those changes is the fact that I'm now associated with a professional video producer. This is David Laramée, or David Laramée, and he's been doing professional videos for quite some time, and you might have noticed that in this video, quality is better than what I'm able to do, well, because, well, he's good at it. So that's just one thing, but other things are also coming, but I'll let David say why he's here.
Yes, hi everyone, I'm very happy to be a part of the evolution mission, mais je vais continuer en français parce que je suis français. Alors,
Subtitles.
Voilà. Et en gros, voilà, la démarche d'André m'a beaucoup plu, vraiment parler des véhicules électriques qui pour moi sont l'avenir. Je pense que c'est quelque chose de très intéressant de vraiment partager les bonnes informations aux gens intéressés. Et puis vu que je suis quelqu'un de passionné par les motos et par les voitures, bah, ça avait tout son sens.
So, having a professional video producer is one big step. Stay tuned because there are lots of things coming. There's a feature that you may have seen in another video, but if you haven't, the climate control and multimedia dual touchscreen that's below the vents in the center of the dashboard are actually something that can be programmed. You can have a default screen. Now, to change this from what it is right now, you can just press the center button, but if you press and hold the center button, that allows you to get the choice of either infotainment or climate. So if you wanted the infotainment screen to be your default, you press that infotainment button, and then the minute you go to your climate buttons, after it times out, the screen goes back to the infotainment. Now, if you wanted to cancel that, press and hold on it again, and then choose off, and you're done. One question that I've been asked by some subscribers and viewers, as well as that I've seen on different Facebook groups, is how the media from the USB key works in the Kia EV6, which also applies to the Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, Kia EV9, etc. Well, it's actually quite simple. You take a USB key that's formatted in FAT32, you put your media on the USB key, and then you stick it into this USB port right here. The media will be read immediately by the car and start playing. You tap over here, and this shows you the music that's playing currently. Now, there are 64 songs on this USB key, but if you wanted to see what they all are, this is a little more difficult. If you press on the list button, then you can see them by file. Right now you see the current folder. But if you tap on the folder, it shows you all of the folders that are on here, like a Windows File Explorer, as well as the individual files on the key. If you want to see the artists, you tap on that. If you want to see by song, by album, or the recently added files, go back to files here. You can press this button up here to go back to the main list. Then you've got the random or shuffle, and you can also replay the last song. That's why you got the little one that's there. And then if you press it again, it'll replay everything that's in the folder that's currently active. And if you press it again, it'll play all the songs in a loop. There are 64, right now it's on song 11. If you wanted to stop the music, you could press the touchscreen, or you could press the radio button, or what's on the steering wheel. Or if you're like me and you want to take out the USB key, you can just rip it out, got it in your hand, the music turns off. Now the EV6 has regular flashers like every other car, but there's also an intermittent flasher. Now let's say you're on the highway and you wanted to change lanes to go left. You can press the flasher down all the way, but then you'd have to raise it back up to stop the flasher from flashing. Now if you half press downwards without engaging it fully, the EV6 will flash the lights 3 times to indicate that you're turning left. Now let's say you wanted to increase that. There are 2 other settings. You can set it to 5 or 7. I have a preference for 5. So what you have to do is you have to go into the settings of the car, swipe over, tap on Setup, tap on Vehicle, swipe up to the lights, and then tap on One Touch Turn Signal. Now that One Touch Turn Signal will give you the options of 3, 5, or 7. Mine is set to 5. You can also go to 7, and then back to 3, or you can turn it off completely. If you watched my last video, the Electron vehicle to load adapter video, you'll know that big things are coming. Now, as I showed you earlier, David's joined the team. We're now 2 people, a professional video producer and me, to make more videos. Now, what that means is that we need more subscribers to get attention of manufacturers of other electric vehicles. That means that your subscription has a huge impact on the stuff that we do here. Now, the more subscribes that I have means that I look more credible to manufacturers like Cadillac and Rivian and Volkswagen and Ford, so that I can do more videos and answer more questions for you, the viewer, and that's just a good thing. So if you please click on that subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. It means more than just you're subscribed to make me feel happy. It has an actual impact. If you click that subscribe and that thumbs up and that notification bell, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. One of the things that I talked about in my first Kia EV6 hidden features video was the fact that the side view mirrors will dip when you put the car in reverse and you've got the adjustment button set to left or right. Now that's still the case, but one thing that I didn't know at the time is the fact that you can actually adjust these individually, both left and right, when they're dipped, and it'll be remembered by the car for the next time you put your car in reverse. So the way that you do that is you put the car in reverse with one of the buttons left or right. Once that's done, then you use your mirror adjustment buttons to set them to the way you want, and then you are done. You put the car back into park, they'll position themselves the way they're supposed to be, and the next time you put the car in reverse, they'll go back exactly to where they were. The Kia EV6 has lane follow assist. That means that the car will follow the lanes while you're driving. It's also got lane keep assist, which means that if you're riding near a line or you get onto the line, it'll buzz and it'll also beep and tell you that you're too close. And it gives a little bit of a jolt on the steering wheel. Now, some people don't like that, or in some cases, like in a construction zone where you're going to be riding on different lines, you're going to want to turn that off. So the way that you want to do that is with this button on the steering wheel. Most people know that if you press this button right here on the steering wheel, it'll turn off the lane follow assist. Now, one thing that people don't necessarily know is that if you press and hold the same button, the lane keep assist will also disappear. What that means, that if you're driving in a construction zone, like most of the roads here in the province of Quebec, that means that when you're riding on those lines that all get painted over or half painted over, your car's not going to constantly nag you and bother you and start messing around with the steering wheel. Much more convenient in those situations. One of the interesting things about the e-gmp platform from the Hyundai Group is the fact that the all-wheel drive vehicle will have a system that decouples the front wheels in certain modes. That means that the car is more efficient on the highway and when you're driving because it's not always powering those front wheels. Now, that means that your all-wheel drive isn't always on, except in 3 situations. Now, one of those situations is when the car is in sport mode. Another situation is when the car is in snow mode. And then there's the situation when you put the car into I-pedal mode or one-pedal driving. One of the nice things about the e-gmp platform from Kia, Hyundai and Genesis is the fact that you got the screen that shows you which wheels are doing the work. Now, when you're in eco mode, as I mentioned, you've got the rear wheels that do the work most of the time, and even if you accelerate, if you're at a higher speed, those front wheels won't really kick in. They only come in when you're at low speeds. Now, if you put the car into normal mode, the difference is you do have the rear wheels doing the work most of the time when you're cruising, but even at cruising speeds, if you accelerate, those front wheels will come on to give you that extra boost of power. Now, in the case of sport mode that you see here, you've got the four wheels that work pretty much all of the time. The exception being when you put the car into cruise control, the rear wheels will keep the car steady, but the front wheels will disengage. Now, in the case of snow mode, which is this right here, the all-wheel drive will always be on, and that's even if you put the car into cruise control, like I've got here, because it'll keep the car more stable in snowy conditions. Now, one of the things that you might be wondering when you look at an EV6 or some of the other cars that we have today from Kia, Hyundai, and Genesis is the fact that the wipers can't be lifted because they're underneath the hood and they hit right here. Now, if you want to change your wipers, that means that you have to use wiper service mode. But how do you turn that on? Well, that means that you have to get into the car, turn the car off, and do a little trick with the wiper lever. Let me show that to you right now. What you have to do is, with the car turned on, press the power button to turn the car off, press and hold immediately the wiper lever. The wipers go up into service mode. Now, one of the things that you have to note when you do this is that the wiper mode is going to leave them in this position even if you turn the car back on. Now, with the car back on, if you were to change your wipers and you leave it this way, and then you go and lift that lever back up, the wipers will go back down. They're waiting for that input. That means that if you leave your wiper up, turn the car back on, lift your lever with the wiper up, this will come down and scratch the edge of your hood. So whatever you do, make sure that you change your wipers, put them back down, then you get back into the car, turn it on, flip the wiper switch, they'll go back into their position, no damage done. I really hope that you enjoyed this Kia EV6 Hidden Features video, and it should apply to the Ioniq 6, Ioniq 5, Kia EV9, and probably the Ioniq 9 that should be coming out very soon because the platform is eGMP and it's pretty much the same for all those vehicles. Now, if you watch this video right to the end, then you'll get to see some bloopers, me making silly things and looking silly, but hey, if I can't laugh at myself, who else am I gonna laugh at? Now, just in case you're interested, I do have hoodies and t-shirt with the e-volution logo. You don't have to own an electric car to be part of the e-volution. You can buy a t-shirt or a hoodie, and that supports this channel and makes me really happy. So if you've already bought some, thank you very much. And if you do buy one now, thanks in advance, I really appreciate it. I've got some social media links that I'll have up here on the screen for you to see, as well as in the description below for you to click on. And if you buy me a coffee on Ko-fi, I appreciate that as well. Thanks for everyone who's already done that. Now, again, as always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. Thank you very much. Features, and I said that I would make a follow-up video. Well, it's been 2 years and those motorcycles are making a shitload of sound, so guess what? I want to start this all over because it's really bad. Now, I just want to preface this video with a little comment about people leaving comments. Now, one of the things that's nice about the key fob with the E4 positions. And right now this headrest is set at the regular position and my cameraman just hit the camera and made it shake side to side. So let's start all over. Plus you got the guy behind me who's clacking his boots and clacking his trunk, and it's fantastic. And then you can set it back by pulling forward and let it go. Let it go. And let it go all the way back. The last phrase. Nice. One thing that I mentioned in the first Kia EV6 Hidden Features video was the fact that the rear mirrors, the Kia EV6, every video. One of the nice features about the Kia and Hyundai Group all-wheel drive vehicles is the fact that there's a big truck that's coming and it's going to drive on the gravel and make a shitload of sound. So we have to start this all over now. If you feel like supporting me, if you did, I really appreciate. If you dude, hey dude, if you watched my last video, the I got a frog in my throat. If you watched my last video. If you watch my last video, the vehicle to load adapter. Say that 5 times fast. If you watch my last as you saw earlier in this video, if you watch my last video, the vehicle to load adapter from Electron, then you'll know that big things are coming to this channel. Like I showed you a little bit earlier, I've got David who's joined me. That's a You're pressional, David.